Live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip, it's Top of the Food Chain. And now your host, he's 1 part Mohawk, 2 parts attitude, and a touch of what the f***. It's Al Mancini.
Thank you, America. Thank you. Welcome to Top of the Food Chain. I am your host, Al Mancini, the radical that has been occupying the finest restaurants, favorite restaurants of the top 1% since these Johnny-come-latelys on Wall Street were in grade school, really. So that's right. I am the OG of the Occupy movement. Welcome, my new brothers and sisters. I hope your revolution is as tasty as mine has been. You are here at Top of the Food Chain on the Vegas Video Network. Welcome. We are live, which means we've got a chat room going on if you're fortunate enough to be sitting here live. And you ever wanted to know what Lutefisk was or anything about Norwegian food, now is the time to register and get in that chat room. If you have a question for a future show, you can email it to us, and that is food@vegasvideonetwork.com. And if you're listening to us on KSHP, which is where you can hear all of the Vegas Video Network programming every Friday night, most of the Vegas video programming every Friday night. Anyway, you can dial in a question for a future show at 866-966-4599. Again, you're at the Vegas Video Network. All of our programming, including this humble show and many other not-so-humble shows, are all available at vegasvideonetwork.com. You can get them on iTunes. You can watch them on YouTube. If you've got a Roku, we've got a whole channel going on over there. And as I said, KSHP AM 1400 streams the vast majority of our programming every Friday night, and you can just tune in, drive around in your car with your AM radio, and check it out. You only need one ear because it's AM, it's mono. So it should be fun. Anyway, we've got a lot of fun stuff today. We were talking about Norwegian cuisine, particularly Lutefisk, which is one of those very mysterious, spooky dishes that you may have heard of, maybe you haven't heard of it, but even if you have, very few of you have probably tried it. One of the few things I haven't tried, but we'll get into that. Before we get started on that, as always, we turn to the man who pays for all of this, Mr. Scott Whitney. Aloha, Scott.
Konnichiwa, my brother.
How are you doing?
Another day in paradise. Jacob and I just got done doing some ballroom dancing, so we're in a good mood.
Really, with each other?
Yes, we are. Love is in the air. Every bit I look around. We need to get out of this dark room.
I just want to know
we do.
Who leads.
Are you kidding? Look at him. He does.
He does whatever he damn well pleases.
I'm not going to try to lead that. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. So everything going good with all the shows, man?
Going good. We just started the Living in Las Vegas from the Vegas Video Network studios here. Just did that Tuesday for the first time. Live audience, new sets, pretty exciting stuff. So life is good. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come down for that, man.
We would love to have you in the audience. We might even put you on the show.
Maybe.
We could.
I've been in front of this camera before.
I know you have. You would be comfortable there.
Oh, man. So I'm having a slightly rough, crazy week, man. I understand now all the technical things you must go through because my website kind of has been down under the weather for the past week, and we've been trying to get it back up and running.
What happened?
I don't know if it got hacked, but we got infected with a bunch of malware. I mean, fortunately, we got the alert from Google almost right away, so hopefully nobody else got infected. We took it down. Cleaned it up, and then there's just a lot of, once you're trying to get it back up and running after that, it can be a pain, you know?
It most certainly can. I have dealt with, we haven't had an infected website, but trying to rebuild a website can be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, so it's been rough. I've been to a lot of cool events. I mean, a great new Eastern European market that I wanted to post some pictures of. Just a lot of, great dinner at Vintner Grill the other day. All those photos are going to be going up, people. Hopefully I didn't infect you. That's what you get when you're a dirty boy like me. You get the bad diseases. I thought I had taken the appropriate prophylactic measures, but I don't know. But anyway, a lot of cool stuff will be going up within the next few days. So we are clean. If any of you are worried, the website is clean. It's not functioning at a 100% now, but definitely almancini.net is where you're going to find a lot of this cool stuff. And of course, follow me on Twitter at almancinivegas. Other than that, Scott, new book's coming out in about a week and a half, so we'll talk a bit about that. But planning the parties. Planning the parties. We've got to get you on a guest list for one of these, man.
Please do. Will there be food and or drink?
It's a food and or drink book. You think that these people...
I would love to attend.
Yeah, we'll be doing one at Guy Savoy. We'll be doing one at the Stratosphere. I'm thinking, looking at the guest list, you might have a little more fun at the one at the Stratosphere, but we'll talk about it, man.
Okay, you just tell me where to go, the nice way, instead of the way you normally tell me.
I tell you where to go every week, and you don't listen, Scott. Cool. Well, anyway, guys, like we said, we are going to talk about Lutefisk. That's Lutefisk, if you're playing a spelling bee game at home and you were wondering what that was. We'll be chatting with some experts on the topic in just a minute, but first, some messages.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
And we're back at top of the food chain on the Vegas Video Network. And I am here with Dave and Christian of the Sons of Norway. Christian, you're a son of Norway?
Daughter.
Daughter? Is it Sons and Daughters of Norway?
No, it's the official title is Sons of
Sons of
Norway.
Norway.
I kind of go along with it. I try to be a good sport.
Okay. Those, you gotta get with the
Yeah,
program.
I know.
It's old school. You guys
That's
are old
right.
school over
it's
there,
old
right?
school.
Cool. Well,
Old world.
thank you guys for coming out because the
Sure.
reason we have you here is you're having your annual Lutefisk dinner, and we're going to get into details on that. If anybody at home wants details, by the way, you can give Dave a call at 294-9911, 294-9911. We'll give that out again at the end of the program. But in the meantime, the big question, what the heck is Lutefisk?
Well, it's a cod. It's a white fish, and it's soaked in lye and dried. And that's how the Norwegians preserved it before refrigeration. And
Why do you-
Luta means is
Yeah.
the lye, and fisk, of course, is fish.
Right. Why do you need refrigeration in Norway? Isn't it
well,
frozen there all the time? You
not
could just
all
put
the
it in
time.
your backyard?
There's well, a lot of places there, but not all the time. It does get warm there in the summer. It can be, in the 80s in the summer and stuff. And I guess before they had fridges and freezers, it's how they had to do it. So
they preserve
have
it in lye, and I know a lot of people out there, you're going to think, preserving something in lye, which is a poison, really.
Right.
It might seem a little gross, but at the end of the day, I don't think people realize they use lye to make pretzels, and olives are preserved in lye, and if it's done properly, you won't die.
Right.
You will not die, right?
Right.
If you eat it before it's cooked, you could die, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty caustic.
It has to be prepared the right way. And in the old days, now we get the fish and it's all ready to be cooked. But in the old days, you had to soak it in water, and you had to change the water out constantly, and you could do that for up to 10 days, I think.
And that was to reduce the lye content.
Yeah, to get the lye out of it. And then from there, you could reconstitute it, maybe, is what you would call it. And
Thank
then
God
you could
for
cook
refrigeration, people.
I know.
You got to put the lye in the fish, take the lye out
Yeah.
of the fish. A really complex process. I mean,
It is.
Time-consuming.
And that's how they used to do it. But when we get it from this fish company in Minneapolis, and it's already for us. So we don't have to go through that whole process.
And the name of the company, I think we have the website. If anybody's looking for it, it's very difficult to get this. I think you said you can find it around the holidays here in Vegas.
It's seasonal here. I called Smith's. I know people have gotten it from them in the past, and the guy said they don't have it right now, but they will have it for the holidays.
So if you are looking for it, I think we've got the website. It's Olson in where'd you say that was?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, and you can order Lutefisk. There's the page right there. Wait and see what we say about it before you decide. Actually, I think they should go to your dinner if possible before they order up some of their own, because describe the I've heard it's, and this is strange because I've eaten just about everything. I've eaten lamb's brains, and I've eaten pig's ears, and I've eaten trotters, and I've eaten all kinds of crazy stuff, and livers and gizzards, and I've never had Lutefisk, not because I'm afraid to try it, but because of the fact it's really difficult to find.
Right.
Yeah.
But I am told that it's a pretty challenging food to eat. It smells and it's gelatinous. I mean, am I hearing the truth about this?
I would say not totally. It's a love it or hate it kind of thing. And there's even I just recently learned a gender gap there. that men over 60 are the primary lovers of lutefisk.
Really?
And a lot of the women don't. It's become very much a joke. And I was trying to think of other cultures where they have a main dish, if you will, a sinecure kind of thing that's dissed. It's not liked.
When I don't know if it's not liked, but when I went to Amsterdam, and you read, and this was 20 years ago, but what I read was about the herring brugie, right? A brugie is just any kind of sandwich, but a herring brugie is supposed to be the, and I went and I got one from somebody on the street, and it was basically this hot dog bun with like raw herring in it. And at the time, I wasn't quite as adventurous with my palate, and I literally took one bite and ended up throwing the rest of it to a seagull over the canal. So is lutefisk that kind of thing that people are like, I don't know?
We eat a lot of herring too.
Really?
And I grew up on it.
I've grown to love herring.
You know, like I'm from Wisconsin originally, and you know, there's a lot of Norwegians in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. So we just ate some weird things that we didn't even know were kind of, now I look back on it and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I ate that. But we ate a lot of herring when we were kids. But my grandmother was from Oslo, and she came to the United States in 1924, and she hated lutefisk. She made it only one time that I can remember for us as kids, and it was horrible. She boiled it in this pot of water, and one end is thicker than the other, so the one end was not quite done. The other end was too done because it was thinner. And she never made it again after that. She took a lot of flack for it, but she didn't like it. But I eat it once a year, whether I like it or not. And I'm Norwegian. I have to do it, you know. And I eat a little piece. And the secret is to pile on melted butter and salt and pepper. And my husband, he puts mashed potatoes and mustard and all kinds of stuff at the same time that he eats it.
So this is.
It's a lot like lobster because its main purpose is as a good foundation for butter or cream sauce.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given that, I really don't think that there's much offensive about either the taste or the texture of the fish, but the smell gets to a lot of people before they ever take the first morsel. And,
so if you go in, you
That's
can
true.
eat it like with your fingers on your nose, and then maybe you like it a little more.
It's not that bad, really.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not that bad.
It really
They're
is.
not going to be hiring you for an ad campaign.
No,
It's not that bad.
This is the
Oh yeah, we got to show this mug up here, Scott. Can we? There.
a
You got
slogan.
it there? Yeah. Lutefisk, just say no. And this is something that people in Norway or Norwegians believe.
Well, but here too, and I mean, I have a real life experience in my family. My sister up in Iowa puts on the most beautiful Christmas you'd ever imagine, and lots of family there. Lutefisk is one of the main things of Christmas Eve because that's what she and I grew up with. And a couple of years ago, one of the grandchildren, I think, said, gee, do I really have to eat this, Grandma Lynn?
That's what I was going to ask. It seems like something that the older people in the family kind of force on the younger people.
Yeah, kind of.
Anyway,
Yeah.
she said, no, you don't have to eat it. And about 5 or 6 more of them immediately said, I don't want to either.
I make my kids try a little of it, you know, just to sample it. But my grandma used to make it, or not my grandmother, actually my mother-in-law would make it. That would be their traditional Christmas Eve dinner. And like Dave said, that's what you had every Christmas Eve.
Well, if you are out there and we haven't scared you away from eating it, because no, seriously, I really want to try it. I really do. Because
it's good. It's not like I would say, you know, you're eating like a wonderful steak, or I can't describe it. It is good, and like Dave said, the taste and the texture aren't that bad really. It's the smell sometimes, you know, that kind of puts you off.
If somebody either orders it online, as we spoke about, or if instead they, you know, get it at Smith's when it's in season. Okay, next, what's up? What do you do? How do you cook it? You know, you got this block of fishy thing.
Right. Some people boil it, but we don't do that. So when we get it, it's about this long. It's a nice big cod fillet, and it looks just like any other kind of fish because all the lie's already out of it. And we just cut it in portions, like maybe 6 to 8 ounce pieces, and we put it in a pan that has like a grate or something on the bottom and spray it really good with some type of non-stick spray. And then we put the fish on there and brush a little melted butter, put foil over it, put it in the oven at like 350 for about 30 minutes, and it comes out and it's really good.
And does
That way.
your kitchen smell like lye for a while?
No.
The elks say it does.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's how we make it.
Okay. And then now serving it, because Dave and I were chatting about this, I think, yesterday. You know, you talk about everything from putting sweets on it to putting potatoes on it to meat. No sweets.
That's left side up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got that wrong.
I got my left queen shirt on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So-
So you just basically serve it as a side dish, as something
No,
that.
it's the main dish, and then
butter and cream sauce.
butter and cream
Put your
sauce.
choice of both.
And then usually you serve it with maybe mashed potatoes. We serve it with little red potatoes. You can do peas and carrots. We also, our saving grace is that we serve it with Norwegian meatballs. So if you don't like lutefisk, you won't go away hungry.
I wanted to talk a bit about Norwegian meatballs. Everyone, of course, has heard of Swedish meatballs, and
Ours are better.
Yours are better. Norwegian meatballs, certainly nothing like an Italian meatball. I mean, Norwegian meatballs
Right.
they're in a brown gravy, kind of a beef broth. I think they usually, whenever I've seen recipes, it's had a lot of kind of cinnamon and allspice and those kind of autumnal sort of spices in the meatball itself, right?
That's right. It's allspice or, like you just said, that kind of thing. And
so it's very hearty. I once had Swedish meatballs at the Swedish embassy, and I have to say they were very good. But,
yeah, and that's a white cream sauce. Usually on the Swedish
they had a
meatballs.
brown sauce, I
Really?
thought. Yeah, it was actually the Swedish consulate in New York, not the
Okay.
embassy. But
Well, I've only had them with the cream sauce.
okay.
We serve it with a brown gravy,
Right.
and we make it with.
Are they little tiny ones like the Swedish ones, or do you go big Italian
No, we try to
size?
do smaller.
Small
Yeah,
ones?
smaller ones.
Like toothpick size? Do you pick
maybe
them up that way?
a little bit bigger, than that. But definitely, and then like my mother-in-law's recipe, she puts a little cream in it and in the meat when you mix it all up, and the breadcrumbs and everything, and so.
So I want to talk, just generally about Norwegian cuisine, about the country of Norway. I mean, we know it was cold, and obviously you've got fish nearby, so that explains the lutefisk. And of course, I guess you guys decided you want to get out of Norway, and then everyone moved to Minnesota because that was the coldest place they could find in America. Is that what happened?
Well,
I
mostly
think so.
what happened with the immigration was that, excuse me, they ran out of land. And so the younger sons were hopping on any boat they could get, and they'd come out. And the upper Midwest, Wisconsin, where her family's from, northeast Iowa, where mine is from, and Minnesota and the Dakotas, were the same kind of land they were used to, I guess, whatever, and it was available land at that time.
Right.
And actually, Norway, as a percent of the total population that came to America, ranked second only to Ireland, who ran out of potatoes.
Okay. So you ran out of land, Ireland ran out of potatoes. I want to talk a bit about what defines Norwegian cuisine, but first we've got a question in the chat room. Scott.
Yeah, there's a debate going on in the chat whether or not you can prepare and or eat this on silverware versus stainless steel. Does that ring a bell?
Actually, there is something in this cookbook that I have that it can, because of the lye, I can't remember which, let's see here.
That the lye would...
Yeah, it says do not cook in aluminum vessels. It will darken the kettle.
Aluminum,
yeah.
But you haven't heard anything about stainless steel versus silver. And I would think...
I would go stainless. I think I'd heard something about silver also. Yeah. Yeah, I think stainless
You might
is...
just want to bake it.
That's what we use, stainless pans and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
because of the lye. I was reading in my Norwegian cookbook, it talks about that in here, that because of the lye, it will darken silver and things.
And yet, what is it doing to my intestinal tract?
Well, I really think...
It's like a cleanse.
Yeah, is that what you call it?
I don't think you worry about it. I think that, in fact, something I was reading yesterday, again, the old men will eat 2 or 3 pounds of that at a sitting. And, but keep in mind what Christian already said. Nowadays, you'd be crazy to try to prepare the fish, the cod, yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother doing it on the back porch. It would take a week or 10 days in a bucket to get that ready to cook. Nowadays, you just call up Olsen Fish Company or whoever you like.
Right.
And we're not sponsored by them.
No.
They just happen to be one
Yeah.
of the best in the country. And they do mostly serve dinners like our event that's coming up. So I think you have to buy it in, is it 5 or 10 pound increments?
I'm not sure, but probably,
But
yeah.
5 pounds wouldn't be too much.
Scott, I'm going to ask you to pull up a picture because we've been talking about that. But before that, I have a question just about our chat room there. Who on our chat room is eating with real silver? Which of our many friends pulls out the good silver for a typical dinner?
We have a very high-class chat room.
Apparently, I didn't know.
I'm shocked that you would even ask.
They don't invite me over to their place, man. It's usually plastic when one of them invites me over.
Shannon, I apologize on Al's behalf for that rude comment.
Do we have that picture, though, of Lutefisk so we can show people? Have we thrown it up there yet?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we got it. Here we go.
Okay. This is Lutefisk, and by the way, I got this it's common license, a guy named Adam D. over at Flickr. So got to give credit where credit is due. But this was from Norway, I'm guessing, at a market, right? This is it raw.
Yeah, it is. And in this picture, it's actually cut up already, like I was saying, how you cut it in little sections, because normally we get it in a big, just like the fish. It's like this big.
Right.
You know, but...
So what defines, other than Lutefisk, which apparently no one in Norway really likes, and what really defines Norwegian cuisine? What are the factors, the ingredients that you have a lot of there and that have made it into Norwegian cuisine?
A lot of cheeses. They had goats and cows.
Comfort food.
Comfort food, potatoes.
Speaking of cheeses, I mean, we've got
Jarlsberg is
which is
the
premier
Norwegian cheese.
And it's got holes in it. You guys are always competing with the Swiss or the Swedish or somebody up there, man.
That's really good. It has a very nutty flavor.
Yeah, Jarlsberg's an excellent cheese.
We do serve it on like little thin crackers and with mustards, and you could serve it with herring again. And when we were kids, we'd have cheese trays with, and then the other cheese is a dark cheese, and my grandmother used to make that for me as a kid when I'd stay overnight with her.
Okay, if I open this up and we can actually see the color
yeah.
of it?
It's sweet, and there's no sugar added. It's all natural, like caramelization.
Almost like
and
candy.
it's very good. And my grandmother, when I'd stay with her, she would make me toast and put this on it. And this is definitely a comfort food for me.
This I've never had.
It's very good.
What's the name of the cheese again?
Gilgos.
Gilgos.
It's made with goat cheese, and it's cooked, and it's like caramelized almost.
G-J-E-T-O-S-T.
Yes, Gatos.
Okay, so if we're looking at this, I mean, really, it almost looks like a chunk of caramel there. And I am a huge cheese fan,
Slice
so I
it
have
very
to try
thin,
this.
as thin as you can.
Now, Dave happened to get this at Albertsons, but I know Whole Foods has it also.
Okay,
I bought it
here
there.
we go. Yeah, it's
What do you think?
simultaneously sharp and sweet at the same. It's got sharp nodes and sweet nodes both at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's usually done on a cracker or something like that, and I gave it to my 10-year-old daughter a little while ago, and oh no.
a lot of Norwegian kids like it. It's kind of a staple for little Norwegian children for breakfast and stuff, snacks. Another good thing is lingonberries, which we brought a jar too. A lot of the berries, which grow in the mountain trees, and
the north part of the north.
they made.
oh, now I'm showing how weak I am.
Lingonberries. This is another good thing that we like to eat with our lutefisk. I do.
Hey, Scott, you strong enough to open this for me?
Give it a shot.
Found it on
Go
top
for
of
it.
one of the cameras. And
You need to eat some lutefisk and
You get big and
both-
strong,
yeah.
big strong Norwegian man. Oh, Scott, you are a stud. Thank you. Okay, so
These are lingonberries. They're a very small little tart berry. And this, again, we serve with our Norwegian meatballs.
put a little bit of that
fish.
up there. It's just yum.
It's
that's
good.
not a little bit.
And that would go great with cheese
Cheese,
and lingonberries.
meat,
On
fish,
your toast or whatever.
toast, yeah.
This says
Lingonberries.
it's a Danish spread.
Yeah, well, but they got the berries from northern Norway.
Norway?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We couldn't find any Norwegian to bring you, but that's what they eat. So.
Now, I don't know of any Norwegian restaurants here in Las Vegas. Are you guys aware of any?
No, I've been spending the last day or so looking to find Norwegian restaurants because I told you there weren't very many around. And I looked at New York, which is the restaurant capital of America, I suppose, and I found with Norwegian and restaurant, I found 20 were listed.
Really?
And 15 15 of them were only listed because they sell Norwegian salmon, or that's one of the menu. That left us with 5, 3 of which are with one chain, which is Smorgas Chef. And then there was one called Akavit and one called Hakon's Hall. He was sort of the founding king of Norway.
Wow, so that's in New York City.
Yeah, that's in New York City.
What about if you go to Minnesota? Are you going to find a lot of Norwegian restaurants?
Because that is sort of the biggest city in the heart of the Norwegian area, you'll find there's a fair number, but most of them are just little delis and stuff.
There's one in Wisconsin. When I went to college, I drive by all the time coming back and forth, and it's in Osseo, Wisconsin, and it's called the Norwegian Nook.
Okay.
And it's this little farm lady that took it over and totally turned this restaurant around, and she has all kinds of homemade Norwegian food, pies, coffees. It's phenomenal.
See, as a foodie, that makes me want to go to Osseo, Wisconsin, but I can't imagine what else I would do when I got there after I ate at that place.
Well,
and I'm guessing there aren't a lot of people that look like me in Osseo, Wisconsin.
They'd love you.
Would they? Scott, do we have another question?
Well, Nate wants to know, why are there not many Norwegian restaurants? Is it an acquired taste problem? I mean, what's the reason behind it?
I think it's a personality problem. The food is comfort food, like I said. But if meatballs are something, or a fish is something, cheeses, it's not like Italian food, which everybody's got their Italian food.
So just not a familiarity aspect. But again, I've got a friend who opened a Bulgarian restaurant that's doing quite well here, and you wouldn't have expected that.
True.
You never know. Maybe we could go into business together.
Yeah. And there are a lot of Norwegians here.
Are there?
Yeah,
Las
we've
Vegas has a
met
large
quite
population?
a few. Yeah.
You said the magic word in the name of a restaurant, Aquavit.
Yeah.
We like to talk about alcohol on this show, don't we, Scott?
Yes, sir.
This, my friends, is the national drink of Norway. It's Aquavit. It's actually, as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Aquavit is drank throughout Scandinavia. You can find it in other countries. It's distilled very much originally like a vodka. It can be made from any grain, potatoes. Right. But then they add herbs to it during the process, right?
Yes. If you open this and smell it, it smells just like caraway seed. It's got a very distinct smell.
Very much, yeah.
We had a full bottle, but
Scott got at it. That's what happens around here.
And,
he brought the rest of the Vegas Video Network crowd down here. And
this is my private stock from home, and we keep it in the freezer, so it's nice and chilled when you drink it.
And it still is a little chilly.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some, and then I want to talk about the fact that this is Laney Aquavit, which is really cool because a friend of mine introduced this to me after he had moved to Norway. He brought some back.
This is the good stuff.
Yes. David, you're not having any, or are you?
Yeah, well, sure, I'll have a
Okay,
just a little shot for me. This helps the Lutefisk go down.
Does
like
it?
The spoonful of sugar.
That's what people need, something to help the Lutefisk go down.
Thank you.
Okay, and we've got all our Norway cups. Lutefisk just say no. Norwegian and good looking. Oh, where will it end? And Ufda. What's Ufda mean?
Ufda is one of the most common. It's not a cuss word, but what expletive.
Oh, great, Scott. You're going to have to edit that out now.
No, it doesn't mean anything nasty.
Oofda, like, oh my gosh.
Well, oofda, people.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say skull.
Skull?
Skull.
Yeah,
skull.
Of course, yeah.
Skull.
And if it's a real oofda, then you say fida.
Oh, that's good. Really good. I mean, the caraway just really comes through.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a burn on it, but not a lot.
Right.
So, yeah, the great thing, and I'm going to ask you to explain it, there is a boat on the cover of this, so I think what I've heard may be correct. Can we see the boat, the virus in there? But what my buddy told me when he came back from Norway with some of this is that Norwegian Aquavit, which is the Line Aquavit, is actually, after they're finished with it, they put it on a boat, and they sail the boat from Norway to Australia and back.
That's right.
With the giant casks of the Aquavit on board, because the thought process is, as it passes the equator twice and goes from cold to warm to cold and back, and the casks roll around, that the changing temperature and the swishing of the boat add to the flavor. They help it get more flavor out of the cask. Have I been misinformed?
No,
or is that
exactly. And then the wood cask also, it's almost like putting wine in a oak barrel. You know, you're going to pick up hints of different things from your wood in the barrel, too.
Right, which all whiskeys, you know, generally use. Do you know what kind of casks they use?
I think it might say on there.
I'll take a quick look.
The Portuguese do that with their
And
port
famous and
stuff.
unique voyage around the world. That's okay. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
It's very
I
small
did
print, people.
read. I did read somewhere what type of barrels, but I can't recall now.
And I
But-
know that the coloring will come out differently depending on how young or how old the barrels are. You know, the older barrels, I guess you get less coloring. It becomes a little closer to clear.
Right.
So all that. Aquavit, my friends, definitely try that. Like I said, this wouldn't be top of the food chain if we were not talking booze. I want to get back to a bit more food, but explain to me about your event, because you're actually the Henderson Boulder
Correct.
division or
Right,
lodge
that's
of
right.
Sons of Norway. You do the Lutefisk event once a year, which you do now in November, and then you have a sister lodge here in Las Vegas?
Right.
Yes, Vegas Viking.
Vegas, okay.
And we're called the Desert Troll Lodge. We're the Boulder City
Desert Troll?
Troll, like a
Okay.
little troll.
Okay.
And yes, our sister lodge is Vegas Vikings.
They get to
and
be Vikings and you get to be trolls.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair.
Well, they were the parent
They
organization.
were here first, so
man.
so
8 or
yeah.
9 years ago, we
Yeah.
And they do theirs, I think, in January, right?
Yes, January or February.
Well,
yeah.
forget theirs. Let's talk
Okay.
about yours. What's the event generally like? Where's it held,
Well,
and what do we expect if we go to it?
It's going to be this Saturday, which is the 5th.
You're almost sold out, right?
Yeah, we are almost sold out.
So
Last
you're going to
year,
hurry people if you
we
want.
could make room for
Yeah.
you.
yeah, we'll make room for you.
This Saturday, I may have to be at a food truck festival, but I'm going to see if I can
okay.
sneak out and get out to your thing, too.
Yeah, actually last year we sold out too, which is great. And it starts at, doors open at 4. We have Aquavit for sale. We have, with the purchase of a ticket, you get glögg, which is a hot mulled wine that we make.
Is that another traditional Norwegian?
You know, it's a European tradition. I wouldn't say it's just Norwegian, but that's something we like to serve.
Okay, and then the setup,
And,
is it just big?
It's at the Elks Lodge in
Okay.
Boulder.
Big lodge tables and
You're
you hang
set
out
up
with
at
everybody?
long tables. It's all decorated really cute. We have little trolls on the table, and you know, we have entertainment. Our president Rolf Jonstead does all the. He's like the MC, and he does. We have entertainment, piano playing.
And a great singer.
Yeah,
Really?
we
Norwegian songs?
some,
Little.
yeah, some, and then we
What's
bring the food out.
What's the general group? I mean, is it Norwegian expatriates, people of Norwegian descent, or people that just want to try this crazy food they've
Well,
always-
mostly, and there's a lot of mixed marriages now, as you can imagine, but there's...
Can't keep that bloodline pure anymore, man.
Very
Right.
much, you know, I'm an Iowa Norwegian married to a Spanish lady. She's unusual in that both her and her husband are...
My husband's name is Olaf,
Oh.
gives you a clue.
so he's
Wow.
real. Yeah, we're both Norwegian.
But they have
But do you get
heritage
a lot of
from-
people like myself who might just be foodies that
We-
want to try this thing that they've heard about? I mean,
We do.
Yeah.
We do, but I think primarily it's before I was in this lodge, I went to the other lodge's event, and we'd take our kids. And I think a lot of us feel it's important to pass on our heritage to our kids. And
even
it's,
if they don't like it.
That's true. Well, there's a lot of other good foods. We have homemade cookies, and you know, there's a lot of other really good foods at this event too. But I think it's kind of the camaraderie, and that's the Norwegians are really into camaraderie and sharing a shot of aquavit, and you know, at Christmas getting together and dancing around the Christmas tree, and just passing on the traditions to your kids, and just a lot of Midwesterners get together at the dinner and just kind of swap
That's really
stories.
how
and-
I think of it is
you know?
if you're at a table with a half a dozen strangers, you introduce yourself, and this guy's from South Dakota, and this lady's from Minnesota.
So
And
just a good
Yeah.
ethnic food
Yeah.
festival, just like people enjoy the Greek food festival here in town and all the other ones.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm really going to try to get out there. I do have this event that I'm committed to already on Saturday, but I'm going to try. If not, I'll see you at the January one, though. You come, right? You come
Yeah.
to this
we'll
one in
probably
January.
Yes,
come
yeah.
as guests, or
But, you know,
paying guests.
But in the
We-
meantime, if you guys want to know anything more about Sons of Norway or about this event in particular, you can call Dave. His phone number is 294-9911. Again, that's 702 area code for those of you watching all over the rest of the country. 702-294-9911. I'm sorry, guys. We are out of time. I've had so much fun, though. I really want to try this stuff. It sounds strange, but it sounds like I'm going to like it. But thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for coming down.
Enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
Dave.
Thank you
It was
for
really great
inviting
meeting
us.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone out there, again, check out the the Lutefisk dinner this Saturday. If you want to go out to Boulder City, it should be a ton of fun. In the meantime, just to keep you up to date on what I have going on, there's a big food truck conference going on also on Saturday at the South Point. I don't think they will have any Lutefisk there, but you never know. How about a Lutefisk food truck? You guys should think about that.
That might be the way to go. Instead of the restaurant, just have it moving around.
Thinking forward. Let's get forward thinking.
There you go.
Here. But that's going to be out at South Point on Saturday. I'll be out there. If you're there, come by and say howdy. As I told you, my new book, Eating Las Vegas, The 50 Essential Restaurants, the 2012 edition, comes out on November 14th. I just checked. It is up for pre-sale on Amazon right now. So just go to Amazon and run a search or go to shoplva.com. In the meantime, I will be back next week with something. I don't know if I can come up with something as obscure as Lutefisk, but I will be trying. I'll catch you guys later.